Welcome to Sports and Rants, the hottest sports radio show in America.
Sports. Rants. Brett. Pants. Sports. Rants. Brett. Pants.
Welcoming your hosts, Brett and Pants.
And we are back with former Eagles wide receiver Todd Pinkston. How are you doing today, Todd?
I'm doing just fine. How you doing?
We're doing great. Thanks for coming on with us. We appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me on.
All right, so we want to start off by asking you, did you follow the Eagles season this year?
Well, I'm always following it ever since I left the Eagles. And I've been still following, keeping up with the same organization since I left.
Now, how do you feel Chip Kelly did this season as the new head coach?
Well, I think he did well. I mean, taking that, the system, that minor adjustments that guys did to the system, they went on a little run.
Did you see any similarities in his coaching style to that of Andy Reid's?
Well, it's totally different. It's totally different. With the fast pace, the only fast pace that we had with Andy Reid was in practice. So I think that Coach Chip Kelly, had that fast pace coming out of college, as opposed to Andy Reid, which is a West Coast. So, hello?
Yeah, keep going. We hear you.
Oh, okay. Which is the West Coast, so that was totally different.
Now, with Nick Foles being the quarterback this season, does his play style remind you of any player you played with, McNabb a little bit, or anybody like that?
Well, actually, he reminds me a little bit of McNabb and a little bit of A.J. Feely, because Nick from watching, he's a strong arm guy like Donovan McNabb and very accurate like Donovan and A.J. Feely. So,
do you think the Eagles have the potential to possibly be a playoff team or a Super Bowl contending team after seeing this season?
Well, I think so. Another year in that system, and with the sky's the limit, whoever is on that, whoever's in that system, going 2 years, ain't no telling what will happen this year.
All right, now we want to get a little bit into your career as an Eagle and your college career as well. What was your college decision like? You were from Mississippi and you decided to go to Southern Miss. What was that decision like, and were you happy to stay close to home?
Well, actually, I wasn't a big football player. I was, good recruiter a lot in basketball, but, I got an opportunity to get a full scholarship to football at the University of Southern Mississippi. So I went out and took a real advantage of it because, it was an opportunity for my mom and my parents and all my family to come locally, by less than 2 hours to come watch me play. So that was a big part of my decision making, and also Southern Miss at the time was on the rise, and so that made my decision easy.
You went to high school and you grew up in Mississippi, and you went to college there. When you were drafted in Philadelphia, what was that like, moving into a different state and traveling up? Did you think much of it?
Well, I thought about it after I got drafted to Philadelphia, regardless of where I came from, because people told me about the Northeast, how the weather was going to be, and they hit their hammer on the nail because it was cold up there. Well, coming from a small town in Mississippi, going to a big city in Philadelphia, it was a big change for me, but it was a big adjustment because I was going for a job instead of just going for just pleasure.
Now, what was that like, coming into such a big media circuit, and with the fans, how big the audience here is in with the Eagles? What was that like?
Well, it was different for me because the fans that I had at Southern Miss was Southern Miss fans, and the people that was at for Philadelphia, there was diehard Eagles fans, because win, lose, or draw, they're still going to be there for you. And if you do good, they're for you. If you do bad, they're still going to be there for you. But, I enjoyed my time there, and the fans were great. Whether we was winning or we was losing, they was always traveling. And you will see majority of the fans that's in Philadelphia when you go to away. So they go to show you what type of fans they were.
Was there any moment during your college career where you came to the realization that you could be an NFL player, that you could get drafted?
Well, actually, I didn't look at it like that. I think going into my junior year, well, that's when I started working hard and trying to bulk up the little small frame that I had. But once the summer going into my senior year, I had a lot of potential, and a lot of people talk to me about what if you get an opportunity to play and what does it take to get to the next level. Well, Coach Bauer at the time told me, well, if I keep working hard in the weight room and do good on the field, well, you never know what'll happen. And just so happened going to my senior year, where I just had a breakout year.
Was there any specific team that you wanted to come to in the NFL, or was it just a crapshoot? Anyone was good for you?
Well, I didn't have, I had no specific team that, I rooted for Jerry Rice at the time, but San Francisco was a long way from me. But if I had my choice, it would probably been New Orleans or Atlanta or Dallas, where my family can come on a weekly home base. But, getting the opportunity to get a chance to play in the NFL, that was a joy for me.
Did you expect to be drafted in the second round? Did you consider yourself being one of the top wide receivers in the draft?
Well, I wasn't expecting it. Well, actually, I was expecting to go first round, but going to the 36th pick, I always said that I was a late first rounder. So I always look at it like that, and that really motivated me to a point where regardless of what round I went in, I still had to work.
Obviously, Andy Reid is a different character. How was that like coming in to his coaching style and his schemes as a rookie?
Well, actually, it took me a couple months to really figure out how Andy Reid was, because he had this mean look to him, where you can't do no wrong or he get rid of you. But playing for him, the years that I played for him, he's a real laid back and very understanding coaches. Basically, he's a player coach, and he will understand the ins and outs and want you to work hard for him. And regardless of anything that he tell you, he always give you the opportunity to get better.
You mentioned that Andy Reid had a mean look to him. Did you experience that with your first meeting with him? Can you go into that?
Well, I experienced it in my first encounter my first mini camp. Once I came up there, and I think it was the post draft meeting or post draft mini camp when the rookies came in. So I got there first. The first impression when I first got there, but like I said, once I got to learn how he was, I really enjoyed my time with him.
Was he more of a father figure to you? I heard Deshaun Jackson saying that about Andy Reid to him.
Well, he was a father figure to me, because he would groom you in and tell you, you come here, you do your job, and anything else, he's not accepting. And besides him being like a father figure, I also say that David Culley, which is my position coach, took that role as well. So, I had a lot of people to bring me in as far as coming from the South and going to the Northeast to get adjusted from being home and being away from home and getting adjusted to the Northeast. So Coach Reid and Coach Culley played a big role in my stay up there in Philadelphia.
How'd you celebrate being the 32nd overall pick?
Well, I didn't really celebrate it, because once they called my name, actually they was going to commercial, so then nobody really get an opportunity to see it until they came back on. But what I did was, my mom thought I was leaving for good, because they called me and told me I had to get on a flight, which is like an hour from my mom's house from Forest, Mississippi. So they told me I had a flight within an hour and 15 to 20 minutes, so I needed to make it. So the only time I really celebrated was when I came back from Philadelphia that weekend.
Now, what was it like for your family to see you getting drafted? What was that experience like as a whole?
Well, they really, you know, they was happy for me. But thinking about that, my family's so humble and laid back because that's what my mom and my dad instilled me, just stay humble the whole time and just take advantage of my opportunity, and that's what they was expecting of me. So I just took their advice and just enrolled with it.
Now, coming into camp, you said you tried to bulk up a little bit, but you were still a thin player. Was that, did you see this as something that you needed to work on to get bigger? Did they have a specific plan for you coming into training camp as a rookie?
Well, they always had a plan for me to just gain weight. So after 2 years, they said that wasn't going to happen because I guess my metabolism and my frame wasn't going to allow that to happen. You know, as long as I got the job done, whatever they asked.
Ty, you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, breaking up a little bit. You mentioned David Cooley, the wide receivers coach. You met up with him the first time. What was one main thing that he taught you that sticks out to you?
Well, one thing is do your job. You know, once I got there and he just pulled me in the office and asked me a few things about my life. Basically, mainly, he said he was glad I get the opportunity to coach me, but the main thing he really wanted me to do is just do my job and work hard, and you never know what will happen. And by doing that, he got Coach him and Andy Reid gave me the opportunity to start my second year with Philadelphia, so everything else paid off from there.
Now, did you always have the belief that you could be a key component on the team, or did somebody tell you that you're going to be a big-time wide receiver in the NFL?
Well, actually, Coach Reid had told me that just keep doing what I was doing because I was working hard in practice and actually trying to make plays. And regardless if the ball came to me or not, I was still working on the opposite side, whether it's from me to James Thrash or me to T.O. or me to Torrance Small or Charles Johnson. But just keep doing your job because you never know when the opportunity comes, when the ball comes to you. You just have to make the play.
Now, did you think of yourself as more of the downfield kind of threat, a guy that could go deep whenever needed?
Well, I could consider that. I mean, I took that role on, I won't say clear out, but, do your job, stretch the defense, try to take a corner and a safety because, if there are those two out the way, then, you only got two more of the secondary guys that can try to take up on three more receivers that was on the field.
Now, what was it like to have Donovan McNabb throwing to you? He was a great quarterback, and Philadelphia fans love him. What was that experience like for you?
Well, that was a big experience. And getting the opportunity to watch him when he first got there in '99, and then actually get a chance to play with him in 2000 up till we both departed our ways. That was a great opportunity and a big experience because, I was a big Donovan McNabb fan once he got into the league because he was one of the top.
Out of Don McNabb and Brian Westbrook, you played with really good players like T.O. also and Westbrook. Which player do you think was the most influential on the team?
Well, it depends on what we're looking for in that week. I think T.O. was a big influence to the offense as far as the passing game. But Brian Westbrook was an all-around player. Regardless if he's going well as far as the running game, that opened up everything else on the outside and the screen game. He was a big contribution to the whole offense once he got going. But those two guys was a big key in the success that we had the Super Bowl run.
Now, in that Super Bowl run, you got to run opposite of T.O. What was that like to be the number 2 guy on the wide receiver court and know you were going to get the ball when they were double covering T.O.? How was that experience like?
Well, that was a big experience. One of the experiences that I enjoyed was actually get a chance to play with him. And once he got over there, it was always expected. It was always expected that he was going to get doubled. But like I said, it was just a part of Coach Cully and Coach Reed just tell me just do your job, because if he's getting double, then somebody's going to be open, and just take advantage of the opportunity that if the ball is thrown to you, because you never know, you might not get the opportunity again. So my role was to just, take advantage of my opportunity, and that's what I did.
During your career while with the Eagles, you went to the playoffs every year. Do you think T.O. was the main piece of the puzzle that helped to bring you guys to the next level so you can go to the Super Bowl?
Well, he was one of the main puzzles, but I won't just count on just T.O. that one player just making a big difference. But I just think that once we came together as a team, as one, I think the sky was the limit for us, and that's when we made that big run, because we had a steady defense and a great special team core. So I won't just say T.O. was the only missing piece, but it was just us coming together as one, just trying to be on the same page, on one accord.
Now, during that Super Bowl season and the Super Bowl run, you had one of the best wide receiver cores in the league with Greg Lewis, T.O., and Freddie Mitchell. What was that like to know that you guys were dominant, and how did that help? How do you think that helped Donovan McNabb?
Well, I think it helped him great. I mean, like I said, the Super Bowl run was when we came together as one, and there's no one individual can get the job done. So, like I said, just what we did was just came together, and once the opportunity came, just take advantage of it, and that's what we did.
Now, you said that we said earlier that you were in the playoffs almost every year that you were with the Eagles. Well, did you guys have a demeanor that you expected to be in the playoffs when you were playing?
Well, once players came in and bit into the West Coast system, and Coach Reed and that organization got the right players in at the right time, I think that was one of the key components of Andy Reid's area. Once he got there, he wanted to be successful and make the playoffs. Then, he wanted to win the division and make the playoffs and try to bring a Super Bowl to Philadelphia, and that was his main focus, and that's what we bit into.
Now, Todd, we want to get a little bit into the whole Super Bowl experience and what it was like for you. Coming into the Super Bowl, was it overwhelming at all? What was it like to be on the national stage?
Well, it was a joy. It was like one of the dreams come true. Besides, we didn't come away with the victory, but the whole week experience, the 2-week experience that we experienced as far as the practice and the media, and actually get a chance to, be in front of, one of the two teams that's going to be playing at the end of the year, that was a joyful experience for me. Now,
what was it like to take the field against a team like the Patriots of their caliber, with Tom Brady, the great defense that they had? How did you come out with a plan of how you thought you could pick them apart? Did Andy Reid have anything special that he told you guys in the locker room?
Well, the only thing is, he always tell you, don't do nothing different that we haven't done all season just because it's the Super Bowl. And then we bit into it and always stayed aggressive. And like I said, a couple of plays here and there, who knows what the outcome would have been. But like I said, it was just a big experience, and getting a chance to play against Tom Brady, which came out the same year as me. So, they was shooting for a dynasty, but we was trying to end that dynasty and start our own. But we came up a little 3 points short, and like I said, that experience is just humbled us as a group, and wanted to get back the following year.
You said you were 3 points short of the Super Bowl 39. Would there be anything that you would change so you would have won the game?
For me personally, or the team?
Both aspects.
Excuse me?
Both, either one.
Well, me individually, I probably would have drank a lot more water instead of just cramping up at the end of the third quarter. But no, I don't think we would do anything different. It just we didn't make enough plays, and they made the plays that we didn't. So, and I think like going back and watching it and thinking about it, well, it was a good two defensive teams that had two good offenses. So, like I said, they made the plays and we didn't.
Now with the leg cramps, we all remember that it was affecting you greatly during the game, and then you had to sit out. Do you feel that left McNabb with one less option on the offense, and that hurt McNabb and the Eagles' chances a little bit?
Well, I don't think it really hurt, but, I felt bad because I wasn't out there to battle with my teammates at the time. I felt like I let them down to a point where it was something I just really can't control because, I was giving my all 100% every play, running hard, blocking hard, and, cramps and stuff that just happened. So, but I don't think that, I let him down. It's just the fact that the next guy had to step up, and actually Greg Lewis came in and took my spot and actually called a touchdown pass to get us within striking distance.
Now, we also had Chad Lewis on the show a few weeks ago, and he said that it was the injuries and the cramps that killed your guys' chances of winning the Super Bowl, and it was especially with the injuries as well. Do you feel that was a big aspect of why you guys struggled in the Super Bowl?
Well, I won't say struggle, but that was one big part because we had a few guys that go down early, and a few guys that supposedly was expecting to play didn't get a chance to play because of injuries. But I won't say that's one of the reasons. I won't say that would be the reason, but I think that's one of the reasons why we came up short. Besides us not making enough plays.
Now, do you think if you guys would have had another shot at it, you guys could have pulled it through and beat the Patriots?
I don't know. I mean, I can't sit there and say that. I would want to say yeah, but we didn't get a chance to get back there, so I can't even answer that question for you.
Would you say the Super Bowl experience was the highlight of your whole career? If you were to pick one, what would it be?
I think that would be one. Well, besides getting drafted to Philadelphia and getting the opportunity to play at the highest level you can play on, so that was one of the big experiences for me.
Would you blame your Achilles issues as to why your career stopped so abruptly with the Eagles and couldn't pursue it any further with another team? I would think so because I wanted to go out on my term and just so happened injury just hindering me from doing what I wanted to do eventually. And once I got injured and trying to get back, it wasn't there for me at the time. It just only took me a year and a half to get back to where I wanted to get to, but at that time it was too late. So, like I said, I enjoyed my experience, but I think my injury kind of hindered me from playing a lot longer.
Well, yeah, what was that like to know you had to constantly nurse a nagging injury, and that you wanted to get out on the field? What was that experience like to try to heal yourself and try to get better, but also know you were needed out on the field?
Well, it was frustrating. It was frustrating for me because I wanted to be out there battling with my teammates, and knowing that I was limited to a certain extent, where that wasn't what they drafted me for. They wanted me to come out here and do my job and be a big part of this of the organization, this team, and just so happened my injury just hindered me from doing what I need to do.
Now, after your NFL career was over, you took a coaching internship with one of your former coaches, David Curley, in 2009. What was that like?
It was big. Well, it was different because now you get a chance to be on the other side of it as far as being a player. Now all of a sudden being a coach, and it was big. It was different for me because you still want to mingle, you still want to hang out with your friends that you play ball with, but I had to. Coach Reed wanted me to shy away from that, and you here for a job and not here to play anymore. But that was just a big experience for me, and I appreciate him giving me the opportunity to come out there and work with him.
Now, what was that like to go from being a player to being the coach? How was the changes in the role different?
Well, it was a big change because you're not a player. You have meetings now. You have coaches meetings. You meet with the GMs and the scouts and player personnel, and those are things that the players didn't get an opportunity to do because you're a coach now. You're not a player. So that's one of the biggest differences.
What was it that made you want to get into coaching? You now coach high school level. What is it that made you want to get into this style of coaching?
Well, my dad inspired me because my dad is a coach, and growing up, that's all I knew as far as him coaching football, coaching track, and coaching basketball too. That's what really drive me to wanting to get into coaching.
Now, Now you're the wide receivers coach at Petal High School. How is that different coaching at the high school level in comparison to the NFL players? And how in your opinion, have high school players changed since your days?
Well, actually, it's a big difference because everything is slowed down now. You don't have as much talent that you have in the NFL, but it's one of those experiences that you teach these kids what you've learned growing up and the experience that you have being in the NFL. Now you have to trickle down to get on their level as far as a high school level to coach, to a point where they will understand the little things, not the big things.
Now, do you aspire to be a college coach or at the NFL level? Is this in your? Do you feel it's in your realm of possibilities in the near future?
Well, I hope so. That's what I'm striving to do. And once I'm done at the high school level, I would like to get into college and eventually NFL. But you got to take small steps before you take big steps. So I'm enjoying my time here at Petal High School, and whenever opportunity presents itself, I'm just going to take advantage of it.
Now, Todd, before we wrap it up with you, is there any former teammates or coaches that you still keep in touch with today?
Well, I still keep in contact with Brian Westbrook, Correll Buckhalter, Rod Hood, and Coach David Cully, and a few more coaches there, and a couple of players that still got out there, Barry Gardner and Bobby Taylor, and all those type of guys that I played with early on.
Eagles are getting better and better each week during the off season here. Do you think that they have a Super Bowl coming year?
Well, if they continue to keep working hard and buy into the system with the coaches and stars, I think they'll get an opportunity to bring a Super Bowl home back to Philadelphia.
All right, thank you very much for coming on with us. Do you have any last words for Philadelphia?
No, I just want to thank the fans and the coaches and the organization for giving me the opportunity to come up there and play for them, and I was proud of the success that we had, and I just want to thank the fans.
Todd, we thank you for coming on with us. We appreciate it greatly, and we enjoyed your time with us.
All right, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy yourself.
All right.
This concludes our podcast of Sports and Rants with Brent and Pants. Thank you for listening. Please follow us on Twitter at Sports and Rants. Like us on Facebook. Remember to subscribe to us on iTunes. And visit our website, www.sportsandrantz.blogspot.com. It would help our rankings on iTunes if you rate and review our podcast. Thanks, and have a good day.